Yo, what is going on, guys, fans and coaches of the ASL? My name is Toucho322 here, and I'll be bringing you guys the Week 3 transactions for ASL Season 6. And if you guys do notice, Susie is not here with me this week. He's been really busy lately, and this video's just got to go up, so I'm going to go ahead and record this on my own. Unfortunately, this is a very long video. There were a ton of transactions. In total, if I count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, roughly 13 moves were made. So it's a big week for transactions. Sorry for that spike right there. But yeah, without further ado, let's just go ahead and hop into the first transaction. So first up, we have a transaction coming out from Vish and the Winter's Weavile. And he's going to opt to drop his Mega Kangaskhan and pick up drop his Mega Kangaskhan and Gyarados and pick up Thundurus, Incarnate, and Mega Beedrill. So I do like this. I don't really like Mega Kang. It's not that good of a Pokemon in my opinion. It doesn't hit that hard, to be honest. It's really easy to swap into with stuff like Rocky Helmet. So I just don't like it in general. And he's going to be able to pick up an electric type, which just a better electric type because he has Electabuzz previously. So getting Thundurus Incarnate's really nice. For getting rid of stuff like water types that would otherwise hurt Heatran, I guess. And he's going to be dropping Gyarados. He just, I guess, doesn't want it anymore. He does not like the Dragon Dance potential that it would bring for his team. And he's going to get the Mega Beedrill instead. And the Heatran Mega Beedrill core with Zygarde 10% sprinkled onto there. I really like that core. It opens up a lot of holes for Mega Beedrill to just absolutely decimate. So I really like this. It's a little quirky of a trade from Vish, just because I feel like he didn't want to make this transaction, but due to his recent results, I feel like he just had to make the transaction just to swap up his team and try some stuff that's new. So, anyways, moving on to the next move, we have Xatu being traded for Alolan Golem. This was a transaction made by EN, coach of the Aussie Kangaskhan's. And pretty much the reasoning for EN making this transaction is he did want a rock type, and he already did have a flying type in Tornadus and had a psychic type in Slowbro, which what does Xatu do? It does defog. Torn can do that. It can Calm Mind. Slowbro can do that. So it's like there's not much that Xatu provided outside of like Magic Bounce and U-turn, I guess. But yeah, Alolan Golem does help EN out with potential like flying types that want to just destroy him. This gives him a little bit better of an answer. So I definitely like the trade coming out here from EN. And he has more options for setting up rocks as well. So he has a lot more answers now. He's got, you know, Alolan Marowak, Cobalion, Palossand, and Alolan Golem. So it just opens up a lot of opportunities for him to do there. And like I said, Xatu's pretty redundant on his roster. So this just adds a little bit. And doesn't really lose anything for him. So, moving on to the next transaction. And I know I'm kind of moving through this quickly just because it's only one opinion from me. And like I said, there's a lot to get through. So, anyways, the next transaction here is from Demaster, coach of the Denver Numbers. And he's deciding to drop Oricorio and Heliolisk and pick up Rotom Frost and Minior. So, with this transaction, let's go ahead. Let me go over to Demaster's team on here. Alright, there's his team. So, pretty much what he's doing here is he just didn't want Oricorio anymore. He felt like Minior was going to be a much better flying type for him. And he wanted Rotom Frost instead of Helios. He later trades Rotom Frost in a minute, so really don't think of the Rotom Frost as being there. He trades it right after this, but he's actually going to get rid of Helios, which is a little bit interesting. I guess he's just valuing the flying type a little bit more because it's pretty much flying electric for flying electric. That's really what he's going for in these trades. And, I mean, looking at his team, it does help a little bit more to have flying typings. I mean, in my opinion, having a good flying type is super essential to a really good team. And, yeah, so Minior is going to be a solid set of super. A lot of his team is, oh, I mean, not a lot, but like some of his team is trending towards setup sweeping now with like Mega Gyarados and Minior. So that could be something that he could try and exercise. But Mini or Mega Gyarados is a really good core. And Rotom Frost, I wish he kept it because I love them on to death. But it does suck to not have Heliolisk anymore, because that's a nice little staggered speed tier that he probably would have appreciated. But I definitely don't think Oricorio was going to help him all that much. So overall, not a bad trade or transaction for Demaster here. So as I said, Demaster was going to trade Rotom Frost right after. And this is the only trade of the week. Yep, only trade of the week. It is between Demaster and Vish. So Vish went ahead and traded Electabuzz for Demaster's Rotom Frost. And Demaster pretty much went from Helios to Electabuzz, which obviously is a downgrade, but he also went from Minior to Oricorio. So it's however you really want to look at it, in all honesty. But yeah, Electabuzz for Demaster, it certainly helps him out with speed because a lot of his big threatening mons, you got Mega Gyarados at 81 speed, Kieran Black at 95 speed, Mew at 100 speed. Electabuzz staggers the Serperior a little bit because Serperior I think is 112, if I want to guess. So it gives him a little bit more speed in that regard, so not bad. Not as much as Helios, but still offers him a lot of speed. And for Vish, I really like this. Like I said, Rotom Frost it's such an underrated mon, and it's so hard for teams to swap into. Mainly, you got to run like fire types or electric types to try and swap into it. But Zygarde 10% can really just break through a lot of those. So I really like the combination that Vish is trying to pair with this mon. Plus, it's just in general an absolute beast of a wall breaker. So not a bad trade for each team. And let's go ahead and move into my trade. Big trade. So yeah, here is a transaction. I'm gonna go ahead and drop 3 mons, pick up 3 new mons. I go ahead and drop Primarina, Kabutops, Masquerain for Togekiss, Quagsire, Lunatone. So I might talk a little bit more about this section just because, you know, I'm the prime source of making this transaction. So I made this transaction after this week because normally when I'm not doing too well, I go ahead and I swap things up. I feel like that's the best way to go about things. So I went ahead and I pretty much dropped Primarina for Togekiss. I wanted Togekiss because it's a much bulkier fairy than Primarina, and I feel like having the bulkier fairy is going to overall help me out. I dropped Kabutops for Quagsire because Kabutops would have been my only bulky water left on the team, and I'm not okay with that. And I want Quagsire to be my bulky water. I would have obviously liked someone to trade me something else, but it didn't pan out. So I got Quagsire there as my bulky water because I got rid of Primarina. And then I just dropped Masquerain because I had to free up points somewhere, and I needed a rock type with Kabutops going out the window. So I just went ahead and got Lunatone. So overall, may not look the best. I just feel like I play much more confident with a defensive fairy rather than a offensive fairy. Again, it's just how I play. So yeah, went ahead and make that to try and better my team. We'll see how it works out. And obviously I think it's a decent trade because, you know, why else would I have made it then? But also had trade talks to try and get like Blastoise from Ferret. Didn't pan out. So there was other things that I was trying to do, but this was ultimately what had to happen. So I'm now out of transactions, just gonna get them all out of the way in 1 week. Well, all out of free agent drops. So yeah. So moving on to the second to last slide, and we have a week 3 transaction, of course, from Ferret, coach of the Philadelphia Flygons. He's going to go ahead and drop Chandelure and Vikavolt and pick up Heliolisk and Torkoal. So at first glance, it's looking like Ferret has opted to go the route of getting a Sun team. And now he has Heliolisk and Torkoal. Like Helios will be getting that solar power from Torkoal, and if he wants to run like gross shenanigans with Mega Venusaur, he'll get 75% back if he clicks Synthesis in the Sun. So he's definitely got some opportunities for a Sun team. I'm liking it. I'm liking it for sure. I honestly didn't think he needed Chandelure. Like he has a lot of breakers on his team, and yeah, I don't think he needed it. I think Torkoal's good because, like Blastoise, it's going to be a spinner on his team, and like Claydol as well, it's a spinner on his team. So now he has 3 spinners on his teams. He has a couple of rockers. This gives him another rocker as well. So he's definitely patching up his hazards weakness and having a little bit of fun with it. This is a nice little pickup. I'm liking it here. Yeah, like I said, Chandelure, I don't feel like he needed it, and just getting Torkoal and then being able to upgrade Vikavolt to Heliolisk is really valuable. There's a lot of value there, because otherwise, Ferret had a really slow team, and granted, he still does. He will be able to use Heliolisk at a base 109 speed, and if he chooses not to Mega Evolve Mega Venusaur, he could benefit from Chlorophyll growth on that. So there could be heat there. And instead of running HP Fire, he could whip out like a Weather Ball or something. Maybe we'll see some stuff like that. Who knows? But yeah, definitely like the transaction coming out from Ferret. And for the last transaction of the week, we have a drop, or FA transfer coming out from Milan, coach of the Jersey Justice, and he's going to opt to drop Galvantula and Perugly for Mudsdale and Cryogonal. So I don't know how much of a fan I am of this trade. Let's go ahead and look at this. It's definitely weird now because Milan does not have an electric type, which don't know how to feel about that. Definitely not my cup of tea. I always want to make sure that I have that electric type there. But hey, maybe he's got some plans for it. I definitely like that he's getting Cryogonal on there. It's a big upgrade from Perugly. And I guess Mudsdale does help out, relieve Garchomp of taking on a lot of the electric types. Because electric types are not bad against this team in the slightest. It's just, it's a little interesting seeing him drop the electric bug Galvantula. And maybe we'll see it picked up in the future, but he does help out his hazards, I guess, with getting Cryogonal, which can defog and Rapid Spin, which is kind of cool. It's nice tech that people don't realize how good it is, because if you're facing a ghost type, you just run defog, and if you're facing, like, I don't know, a Defiant user, you run Rapid Spin. Boom, you're good to go. And yeah, so that is going to be Milan's transaction. Not bad. I feel a little indifferent about it, but yeah. That is going to be the video, guys. Sorry if this was a little bit out of whack. Like I said, I had a lot to go over without Susie here. So it's a little bit weird because I'm just used to recording with Susie. So we kind of like guide each other to the next slides. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys all for watching. And I will see you guys tomorrow for weekly recap. And yeah, bye.